Hey guys, what's up? So in this video, I really wanted to talk about the FDR Drive, which is our highway in Manhattan. In the second video on this channel, the highway video, I talked about how low our highway speed limit was for the FDR Drive, it's 40 miles per hour. And a ton of you commented like, oh my gosh, that's so low, that's insane. Other places it's like 65, 75 on highways. When you guys said that, I was like, oh, that's a video idea. That could be a video. I could like kind of talk about the highways here, show them to you. Just from my personal experience, like, yeah, would it be fun if they were higher so you could go faster? Sure. But I wouldn't say they're too low. I feel like we have so much traffic, the speed is like safe, like there's a reason speed limits exist. I want to just respond to your comments, kind of show you the FDR more in depth. So in this video we're really going to focus on the FDR. Highways in New York City, they do vary, some have like higher speeds. And I'm going to talk about why 40 kind of makes sense. So just a little bit about the FDR, which I'm about to go on over here. It's a highway that runs at the perimeter of Manhattan, on the east side of Manhattan. You'll see when we get on it, there are just certain features about the highway that it's just different. Okay, we're good. You can see here, there's an uphill. In the FDR, there are a lot of twists and turns and uphills and downhills. And I think that's like one of the reasons you can't have such a high speed limit. When you have like uphills and downhills like that, you know, uphills, you have blind spots, you can't see over the hill. So that's like one reason. I feel like one of the things about highways in New York City is they're built around the city. And so there are a lot of twists and turns and uphills and downhills because they have to be worked around our streets. Our highways here are usually at like the borders, at the where the water is. And I think that's just because you're not gonna have a highway like in the middle of like some, you know, city street. Like, so it makes more sense to have the highways at the edges of the city. Now I'm actually local. I just exited and there's this huge U-turn you can make so that you can go back north on the FDR. This is the beginning of the FDR. Like, to my left, cars come out of this little like underground tunnel passageway thing. Again, there's this like hill and you can't see over it. So again, you can see the speed limit's 40. So this part of the FDR is fairly wide. It's the beginning. I feel like all the parts of the FDR are so different from each other. You'll see. So right here, there's a curve. You can see there are a ton of like yellow arrows. And then, yeah, there's just certain like characteristics, like we don't have shoulders. Like you can see there are no shoulders. This almost doesn't even look like a highway. Like this almost like reminds me of just like a faster street with like no street like intersection lights. Okay, again here there's like pretty tight curve. It's not tight, but if you're going really fast, it's quite tight. And there's a huge shoulder over here. In my opinion, the FDR is an insanely fun highway. Like, let's say like they closed the whole FDR and you could just have it to yourself and just drive it. It's so fun because it's like a racetrack because of all the curves and stuff. A lot of you ask like what it's like driving in New York. It's really hard to answer that question. And I think like as you just watch my videos, as I make more videos, like the question's gonna slowly be answered. Like in my videos, I kind of talk about little things like our highways, for example. So I guess like this video is gonna give you an idea of like what the FDR, what driving on the FDR is like. It's really cool. Like I think like just, it's not boring. It's not just a straight highway. And actually commercial vehicles aren't allowed on this. See, then we have things like tunnels. Like I'm gonna exit here, but I wouldn't say this is a tunnel, but when you go into a tunnel, the speed limit lowers. And like, think about it like that, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like that here. But I'm exiting right here. I'm gonna go south and show you guys FDR South. Our roads aren't maintained that well in New York. The asphalt we use is really cheap, so it doesn't last as long. If only they invested in less cheap pavement, asphalt, whatever, you know, maybe it would last longer. Maybe we'd have less potholes, but New York is known for potholes and just like weird bumps and creases in the road. And the FDR Drive is no exception. So that would suck if you were going like 60 and like all of a sudden, boom. So okay, we're going on FDR South, on the on-ramp here. Not really nice because the wall is so tall here that I can't even see the cars coming, so I can't gauge my stuff. So here, there's another little tunnel thing, FDR South. Yeah, whoa, the light. I feel like I'm being so repetitive here, but it's just example of after example of here's an uphill where I can't see over. See, right here, you can't see around this curve, like at all, around this corner. See, these roads are so bad. These roads are so bumpy. You guys, like, see it with the camera. It's like, oh, this is paved so nicely. This is perfect. Oh, except there's a little manhole. Okay, oh, this part's, oh, that's not good. See, the roads, I'm purposely staying on the right lane because there's a certain section where, like, on the right lane, it's insanely, like, it's full of, like, manholes. So we're at the pothole section. It's right after that, the manhole, whatever you want to call it. The divots in the road is right after what entrance is that? 14th Street, 18th Street? I don't remember, but it's just never ending. Again, there's another. This is really dangerous in the rain because, like, bumps like this cause your car to, like, drift. So you guys saw the layout of it, the structure, the physical structure, and you can see why, like, you know, the lower speed does make sense. You just have to remember that the FDR Drive is within an area that has a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. It varies a little bit depending on which highway, what part of New York City you're driving in. But in Manhattan, because of, like, the whole layout, you know, we don't have a lot of space to put highway roads. So the on-ramps and off-ramps are actually fairly short. Not only are the on-ramps and off-ramps short, like, you're going from 25 to highway speed and then highway speed to 25. So it's really important that, like, you have these low speeds. So I have a perfect example I'm going to show you guys right now. I actually went this way earlier in the video when I first went on the highway. This is the Grand Street entrance. I wouldn't even call this an on-ramp. Like, I don't even think you could call this an on-ramp. Look at this. Like, look at, first of all, you're turning, so you can't, like, gauge with your mirror. You don't have a long strip. But in general, see, look how short this is. And often when there's traffic, I know today is like 2 examples of me not really having to stop. When there's more traffic on that entrance, I often have to come to a full stop, wait for clearance, and just, like, full throttle go. You saw how short that space was. You know, in other places, you kind of can get up to speed and you, like, it's kind of like switching a lane at that point. But there, you just have to wait. You're going from 25 miles per hour, probably even less, because you were just turning. So if you have cars going, you know, between 60 and 70, you really have to, it takes a lot, you have to have a lot of clearance in order to go on the highway and get up to speed safely. Okay, so right here, speed limit 30. So that's another thing, this is towards the end of the FDR. The speed limit actually lowers, exit 25 miles per hour. So when you exit, you either go local or you go through this tunnel that brings you to the other side of Manhattan, west side. Like, this exit, like, right now, I'm literally on local roads. Like, we're in city streets right now. And the speed limit's 25. So imagine racing at, like, 70 and then all of a sudden slowing down to 25. That's why we have that 30-mile-per-hour speed limit. Just keep in mind, this whole video is just my thoughts, my opinions. This is what I think is the reason for the low speed based on, you know, my experience driving here. I feel like I'm so repetitive in this video. But basically what I'm saying is, because we're within the city, this highway is really part of a city. We exit to the city, we enter from the city, and the city has such a low speed limit. It's just unsafe to have cars going so fast on this highway. So highways in other areas, not only do you have off-ramps to really slow down, but the speed limits that you are going to are like country roads, more local roads, but they're country roads, so it's more like 45 miles per hour, maybe 50. So if you're going 70 on a highway, going from like 70 to 45 is not that big of a deal. But if you're going 70 to 25, that's kind of crazy. This is exit 5, Houston Street. So this right here, it's not like so short, and it is uphill, but look, you have this small area, you have this small distance to slow down. Often, look, there's even an intersection light, so often you have to slow to 0. If not, you still have to slow down because it is a curve. Your comments give me video ideas sometimes, and so keep commenting. I think it's really cool that like this is a driving vlog, so I'm really, you know, it documents my experience, which is constantly, you know, there's constantly new experiences. So it's really cool how like you guys can comment and then I can respond, and it's almost like this conversation. I hope you guys like learn a little bit about like what it's really like here if you're not from here, or if you're from here, like what, and you don't drive, like what it's like driving here. It's definitely really, really different. So right now I'm on 14th Street. I'm gonna turn soon, and then I'm gonna go on the FDR. I'm gonna go south, FDR south. And there's one entrance that's much longer, which you guys will see. So my first ever highway lesson, this is actually where I went. This is a great place because the on-ramp is much longer. You have more time to lane change. It's not like your average FDR drive entrance, but it's more similar to your average like highway entrance. That's a tight turn. Okay, so here it is. Check it out. This is the first on-ramp I've ever driven on. This is probably one of our longest on-ramps. But it is curvy, so it's really hard to see. So this is a pretty long stretch of road. I kind of waited a little bit before lane changing just to show you guys. But see, so it ends right about there. So you get a little more time. Oh, here we are with the manholes again. Oh my god. It's long enough for 40 miles per hour, I think. I'm gonna exit and I'll show you guys that off-ramp, which is that, I don't know. Can you even call these on-ramps and off-ramps 30 miles per hour? Because it's not super short. Obviously, look, there's a pretty long stretch of road, but up ahead is an intersection light. Right now, we're already in 25 mile per hour speed limits. So, yeah. I'm driving my grandma's car, by the way. It's a 2015 Toyota Highlander. As you guys know, as you guys saw in my last video, I returned the Lexus. So that's gone. Sadly. I mean, it's not gone, it's just gone from my hands. Are New York City highway speeds too slow? Maybe too slow to be fun, but they're safe and speed limits are there for a reason. I see speed limit as like a rule. I've never thought about, you know, whether they're too slow or too fast. Yeah, let me know if you've driven here. Let me know what it's like if you live in a city, what your highways are like. Also, another thing I want to mention is that in general, my videos go out on Thursdays and Fridays. They don't go out every Thursday and Friday, but when they do go out, it's usually on a Thursday or Friday. So far, it's been Thursday and Friday, so I think I'm just gonna keep it like that. I'm sorry I can't get videos out every week. I really wanted to do that, but since starting college, I realized I can't, so yeah.